This is the Inquisitive Minds Podcast.
Hey, thank you for tuning into the Inquisitive Minds Podcast. I'm your host as usual. Today we're going to be talking about Bigfoot and his non-human abilities and going over the UFO Bigfoot connection. Before I introduce my guest, I just want to let you know, over at the Teespring store, we're having a Black Friday sale now until December 1st. Anything there is 20% off. Just enter in the code IMPodcast at checkout to receive 20% off. Help sports podcast, guys. Great gifts. Cool shirts. My guest today, he has a background as a law enforcement officer, a police chief, a corrections officer, worked for Child Protective Services, and has been a licensed private investigator for over 30 years. He's currently the director of Fayette County, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Research Project. He's the West Virginia State Director for MUFON, the Fayette County, Pennsylvania Cryptids, Ghosts, UFOs, and Other Strange Encounters. He's the director of UFO Bigfoot Connection and the director of Pennsylvania Cryptids and Strange Encounters. Fred Saluga, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you.
I was at a UFO convention Fred was speaking at yesterday, and I will say he did a tremendous job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you want to talk about...
I'm sure your governor wouldn't appreciate it, though.
Oh, I'll be honest. I was in a mask just because I'm used to it now, and I was in the minority there.
Yes, you was.
If they would have broke out in any chance at all, it would have been fuck masks. It was crazy. So, Fred, you want to talk about the UFO Bigfoot connection today?
Well, yeah, when you talk, is this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when you talk about the UFO Bigfoot, you're actually talking Bigfoot and interdimensional.
Okay.
All right, so, again, where is Bigfoot from? Where did he come from? Where does he come from and where does he go? Because obviously he's not around.
Yes.
They see him and then they don't see him for maybe 2 or 3 months, 4 months. I mean, so that's what we'll talk about. A lot of people, believe they really haven't done any studies on that.
Okay.
But they had 2 studies. 80% of the respondents believe that Bigfoot exists in some form. The highest percentage believe that Bigfoot is neither a bear or an ape, compared to 31% that believe there's the ape hypothesis.
Okay.
And they did another one in 2011. 26% of 574 participants answered they believed this creature was an interdimensional or extraterrestrial being. All right, so how this really started when, like I say, I did investigations up here in the 70s. And then 85, I moved to Florida. I came back up here, I think it was 2004 or something like that.
Okay.
And I started back into it. And I was telling people, I said, well, I really believe that Bigfoot's interdimensional. You're crazy. Half of them wouldn't even talk to me. You got your Bigfoot organizations, they actually shunned me. I thought I was, there's something wrong with you. Bigfoot is an animal.
I will say I never liked the whole missing link theory.
Yeah.
I never bought into that. And also, I've come across what you're talking about, the, the earthers or whatever you would call them, because I've seen on Facebook groups when they get angry, they don't come on here talking about interdimensional. I'm like, whoa, We're talking about Bigfoot and you're getting uptight?
Well, but the whole thing is, we call them the animal people.
Okay.
I mean, they're the animal people. Like they want to believe that Bigfoot is an animal. Now, I'm not actually. We don't know what Bigfoot is. We have no idea what it is.
That's fair.
I mean, I can't say he's interdimensional. I can't say he's extraterrestrial, and I can't say he's an animal because we don't know. They know. I mean, they know. They know he's an animal, and he.
Such conviction, huh?
Yeah. But there's a couple Facebook pages, couple groups. They'll come on every now and then and say, they call it a woo. All right?
Okay.
And they'll say, if you talk about paranormal Bigfoot on here, we don't want you on his page. So...
Okay.
So I'll go on and I'll say, well, really, I really like you and, we're good friends and I hope we stay friends, but I can't stay on your page because you know my thoughts and my feelings.
Yeah.
So, catch you later. Within 10 minutes, I get a phone call. Fred, you can't get off. Well, you're just telling me you don't believe in what the hell I'm talking about, so what do you want me on there for?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, I got 3 phone calls already in 10 minutes. What are you doing kicking him off the page? I mean, so
if you guys were ever wondering, yes, there is a lot of drama in the Bigfoot community.
We just had a post. If you want to learn Bigfootology, you'll learn more about people than you will Bigfoot.
I saw that, yeah.
And I mean, the whole field, when I got into it, when I came back up here back in, say, 2004, 2005, and when I did it before, everybody used to be together.
Okay.
Now, everybody wants to be authority. The authority. They want to say, oh, yeah, well, Bigfoot's this and Bigfoot. And they don't know.
Yeah.
But they run, and then you see they're out taking pictures.
Okay.
And they got red lines around them. Ain't no damn
the
Bigfoot.
red circle?
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen these pictures, and it can be a picture of anything,
Yeah.
and they'll just circle and be like, see Bigfoot back there? No.
Yeah. But this is what they do. And then they get some authority. Like, oh, yes, I've seen 4 Bigfoot, well. How many Bigfoot have you seen, Fred? I ain't seen any. I don't lie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Appreciate the candor around here. We do.
But, again, the majority of people that get into this field, I'll explain to you somebody that we know. Now, I ain't going to give you no names or nothing, but if they ever hear the podcast, I know it's about them.
Okay.
They came into the group, and the guy was actually, excuse the term, shitting his pants. So he said he seen a Bigfoot, 2 years ago or something. And I'm going to have to take a cough drop here. And it's not COVID. It's COPD.
I assure you, mine is not COVID, it's cannabis.
Oh, yeah. I can't do that shit, man. They'll take my licenses and stuff off of me. I got too many guns to lose.
That's fair enough.
But he came and he said he can't sleep because he sees the Bigfoot face every night.
Oh, it's like haunting him in his sleep.
It's haunting him, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we said, okay. So within 6 months, he becomes an expert. He's seen 2 Bigfoot since then.
Oh.
Oh, he sees Bigfoot all the time. Now him and his wife see Bigfoot.
Together?
Yes, sir. Family that sees Bigfoot.
They have coffee together?
No, yeah. But
Bigfoot inviting him over for the holidays?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. But anyhow, me, Maria, another guy, and him went on a hike one day down in Luzerne Township. And we went down into the holler down by a pond because there's always tracks down there. If you go Bigfoot researching, always go by water.
Okay.
Because you'll find tracks around there. So we found a couple of tracks. Something started throwing stones at us, or rocks. Well, if a Bigfoot throws a rock at you, number one, you're going to know it's a rock.
Yeah.
And number two, it's going to hit 5 feet from you.
Or closer.
Or closer. They know exactly where they're throwing. Well, these rocks were going here and there and everywhere.
15, 20 feet away.
So she takes off up the hill.
Okay.
Well, he starts yelling at her to come back down.
Yeah, when I'm halfway up the hill, the worst part was over. And he's screaming, come back down now.
Wow.
Well, so the other guy was with us, ran up there to see what was up there. He didn't see nothing from what we understand.
But that was like 15 minutes later because we walked back up to the trail or climbed back up to the trail.
So now he tells everybody that he seen Bigfoot that day, and we was with him.
And we both saw it.
And we both saw it. So our last, well, not this year, but last year at the presentation we gave, the TV people was there from Armstrong County.
Okay.
Or whatever. And the girl looks at me, she says, well, have you ever seen a Bigfoot? And I said, no.
Yeah.
She says, well, the guy that just talked a couple of minutes ago said you was with him when he seen one. How could he see it and you can't? Well, I don't want to put him under the...
Yeah.
So I said, my eyes ain't that good.
You gave him a way out.
Yeah. So, but now he didn't even talk to us. Now they seem, but again, this is the way people are in this field. They want to get, like, they think that they can go out and make $1 million talking. You ain't going to make a banana stick.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You ain't. But they get some kind, like I said, I use the word authority. I don't use the word authority. Some type of authority where they can go out and say, well, yes, I've seen Bigfoot, and he and I were staring at each other for 15 minutes. No way on God's given earth. But
well, that's a shame it's come down to that. I'm sure some of it's to blame is social media.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody can have a platform, and everybody's a boss. Growing up, they used to say, too many chefs making one pot or whatever.
Yeah, like when I was little, I admit it, I used to live in a place called Ellison, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And you come down 166, and there's a stone quarry there. We had Bigfoot then. And we hear noises. I'm going to tell you what, you never see people run so fast in your life. I mean, 10 years old, man, I tell you, I ran so fast, fire couldn't catch me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I admit it. I mean, I never seen Bigfoot, and I'm not going to say I did.
I feel like your honesty gives you more credibility, though.
Well, not to these people.
Well,
that's
unfortunate.
But you're excellent at finding evidence, like tracks.
Yeah. You brought in some casts today that I'll throw the pictures up later for any of you listeners.
But another thing really interesting before we get into it. We had one guy up there that's seen a Bigfoot. He filled out a report. I'm going to see him next week. But when we deal with Bigfoot, we do a lot of interviews. Mm-hmm. 7 out of 10 people are Native American.
Oh, yeah?
Or have Native American blood, which
Okay.
is really interesting. I mean, when you come down to it, so.
Yeah, well, I don't have to tell you about the Wendigo connection,
Yeah.
All that. Native American lore is shrouded with the paranormal. It's very fascinating.
Well, UFOs too.
Yeah.
The star people.
Yeah, skinwalkers, all types of stuff.
And then we look at them like they're idiots. I mean, they know more than we do. Maybe they're not as bright as we are because they've been put on a reservation somewhere. We ran over 3 mountain ranges, put them on Alcatraz, kicked their ass out of there, and put them back where they were. But they know, and they don't want to tell us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I don't blame them, really. So, okay, so now we start talking about Bigfoot, and here's a picture here. Who let the Squatches out? Coming out of
Okay, looks like aliens releasing Bigfoot out of their saucer or ship or what have you.
Right, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Then in 1924, you had Ape Canyon. You ever hear of Ape Canyon?
No, I have not.
Okay, a couple of prospectors were out, and this is the picture of it. Like I said,
Okay.
And they ran into these apes, and the apes were there running around it, so they shot one. He fell over top of the hill. That night, they bombarded the house with rocks and stones and boards.
The apes?
The apes, yeah.
Okay.
So the next morning, they got up and took off.
Yeah.
And the guy, Beck, said 30 years later, these were not apes. These were paranormal creatures, the way they acted in that. So this is one of the first times they said they were paranormal.
Okay, so they had, like, more intelligence than an ape would and things of that. Okay.
This here about the Swatches out.
Okay.
Okay, back in the day, 1800s, a guy befriended the Indians or Native Americans, and they was talking about one that lived in a cave. And he was actually working with the Native Americans.
Okay.
See, if you get into Native American lore, some of the Bigfoot actually saved them. Say they would get lost, they would bring the Indians back to where I'm going to say Indians, back to where they're from.
Okay.
Some of the other ones would eat them.
Oh.
So, I mean, there was a difference.
There's
there.
consequences then.
Yeah. But they knew which ones were good and bad.
Okay.
Some of them would actually take the women, the Indian women, and have, and marry them.
I've unfortunately heard some of those stories, and I wouldn't recommend it. It's graphic, and it gets kind of disgusting.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
But I've definitely heard stories about that.
Then you hear stories like, say, back in the woods in West Virginia. We was down in Wetzel County, and we do a lot of research down there. And stopped in a store, and they was talking about Bigfoot. And they said, oh, hell, she says, my grandmother used to beat Bigfoot with a broom because he used to come in and take the horses' food.
Oh, yeah?
And the way they used to talk then, they was actually friends. Bigfoot would come and eat with them and this and that, this and that. It was unreal.
Huh.
Then all of a sudden, it ain't no more.
Yeah.
You know, and why is that? Because we, as great Americans, how many people want to shoot a Bigfoot and kill it?
Yeah, that's very true. And you know what? The point you make about it being interdimensional, if you believe it's an animal, it almost disproves its existence.
Yeah.
You know, I really feel like the only way it can work is if it's alien or interdimensional or has some form of travel like that.
But anyhow, so they had this in a what they call that when you write something, what you do, girls have them. Diary.
Okay.
So
that was a hell of a description.
You would like to laugh a lot. He tells the Indians, he says, I'm not feeling well, I'm dying. He says, build me a raft, I'm going to come and you push me out in the water and my people will come and get me. Well, you know, they did what he asked, and then they're hiding behind the weeds looking, you know, like what's going to happen here. They say all of a sudden out of nowhere comes this craft, the circular craft, a big light comes out of it.
But they called it a moon.
Yeah, and picks him up into it.
Wow.
Now, how would they know that?
Yeah.
And then there's the other one about the moon. I'll think about it. But, so you have that. And this was, like I say, back in the Native American days. So, you know, the Indians would say when the ship landed and they would let them out, that picture there, they would say like, they let crazy bears out.
Oh, crazy bears.
The moon. They said the moon would come down and let the crazy bears out. And people on the moon would wave at them as they go back up in the sky.
Wow. That's got to be a terrifying thought if you see that, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, that's scary.
I mean, you know, you see something land and you see 4 or 5 crazy bears getting out, running around crazy.
People waving.
Well, yeah. Well,
we're out of here.
They don't say what they look like, though.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you know, they could have been whatever. But, you know, again, when you read history, there's all kind of history about Native Americans and Bigfoot. Bigfoot's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, he crossed the Antarctica from here to there and came into the Bering Strait and, you know, really, you know, but a lot of places like MUFON, 10 years ago, if you got a UFO case with a Bigfoot in it, they wouldn't take it.
They wouldn't?
Nope. Bigfoot, people have fighting Bigfoot.
Okay.
If they got a case of a Bigfoot with a UFO, they wouldn't take it. And it's still till today. A lot of people, if they get a case and there's both of them in it, they won't take the case.
So the UFO Bigfoot connection being investigated is relatively new?
No.
No?
That's old.
Well, where did people go to get it investigated then when the UFO, when the MUFON wouldn't take it, or Bigfoot investigators wouldn't take it?
They went to ghost hunters.
Okay.
Paranormal groups.
Okay, that makes sense.
Me and Brian, we was down Mothman one time, and we ran into 2 paranormal researchers out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin's really, I don't know, they kill people up there, they shoot them, their elections ain't no good, and Bigfoot runs around crazy up there. Dog man runs around up there. I wouldn't want to live up there myself.
Wisconsin's nuts.
Yeah.
It's got voter fraud and Bigfoot. Stay out of there.
And dog man.
And dog man.
But they say that the report was, I read it on our Bigfoot page. I mean, our MUFON page, but they got it off now. That 2 Bigfoot, they seen them, and what they did, they walked out into the field, and all of a sudden, a big black thing opened up, and it was twirling, and they just walked in it, and they vanished. Well, you know, it's not UFOs, but it could be UFO related. But MUFON wouldn't investigate it because it was Bigfoot.
Huh.
And then moneymaker for Bigfoot research. If any case came in that there was a UFO involved, he wouldn't do it. They had one of them that guys was from Ohio, was on television. He was allowed to talk about his Bigfoot case, but he couldn't talk about the UFO being involved.
He couldn't mention it at all.
No, but this is the way they are.
That's a shame.
But
That's
again, I mean,
unfortunate.
everybody got their own thing, man.
Yeah, see, that's true. Whatever you believe in, have fun with it.
I mean, you believe this all your life, and then all of a sudden you see one getting out of a UFO, you go home and say, oh, my God. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I've seen Bigfoot get out of a UFO.
You're one of those people that's fighting that it's an animal.
Yeah.
And you see it come from space and it blows your mind.
But again, I mean, nobody knows what it is. I mean, we got so many cryptids out there now. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I mean, and Bigfoot groups. In Pennsylvania alone, there's like 15 Bigfoot groups. So how the hell? And nobody shares information.
They don't, if they find out new evidence, they won't tell any. What is the point of that? Isn't the goal of all the groups actual discovery? No?
Authority.
No, it's a money-making thing for a lot of people.
Well, yeah,
so they don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
share that information with anybody.
That's capitalism for you.
Well,
At its worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a couple other people. We got one guy. Like I said, I'm not going to mention names. They know who they are when I was here. But, I mean, he's been in this now for I don't know how many years. And he will not share anything. Nothing. I mean, it's ungodly. I mean, you could have a Bigfoot standing right there and see it and say, hey, you've seen it. I didn't see nothing.
That's a shame. Here at Inquisitive Minds Podcast, we love to share. So if you're listening and you enjoy the episode, a like, a share, a subscription, anything helps.
Yeah. Let us know. I mean, I'll gladly come and talk to you.
Yeah. If you have questions, send them in. Anything like that.
I look at it this way. She does, and a couple other people in our group. I want to know what they are, where they're from, and why they're here. I want to know what UFOs are, where they're from, and why they're here.
So do you, what type of, have you been on stories where there are people that have experienced Bigfoot with an alien connection?
Yeah.
You want to tell us?
Just the same thing. They've been in a UFO, and they've seen an alien. They've seen a Bigfoot.
Oh, they've been.
Nothing really outstanding.
Okay.
But they got a couple outstanding stories now. We'll get into that.
Okay.
Okay, first would be, when you got a UFO goes over top of a car. The car stops.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I didn't know they all stopped. I wasn't aware of that.
Biggest majority will stop.
Okay.
The motor shuts off. When the UFO passes, the motor starts back up again.
Now, is this in close contact? Like
close,
within 50 feet, maybe?
Maybe 500 feet.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, but it appears that they shut the motor down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the electromagnetic energy coming off the ship. All right. So, Bigfoot can actually stop a car. Back in 1960, Monongahela National Forest down in West Virginia, a bunch of hippies, we know them well. They see Bigfoot all the time and they, hey man, who the hell is that? They ask me what's a joint. But anyhow, one was in their little minibus. There were a bunch of them in a minibus, and there was another guy riding his Volkswagen behind them. So they're going to the park, I guess, to have whatever they do. And when they get around the curb, the guy's car stopped, the Volkswagen. And he don't understand why. He looks over and he sees a Bigfoot standing with his arms up in the air. The Bigfoot puts his arms down. His car started right back up again.
Oh, so it's almost like telekinesis or something like that.
So he goes down with them, and they're partying for the day, and then they come back at night. The same thing happens, but this time his whole electrical system burned up. His name was Priestley.
Now,
good.
After the car wasn't usable at all after that?
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
That's crazy.
Okay. Then another instance would be Prescal. You ever hear of Prescal?
Up in Erie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard about the UFO?
I haven't heard about the UFO up there.
Wow. Okay. Back in 1966, I think. No, 1968, 69, somewhere around there. there was 2 men, 2 women, and 2 little kids were partying up on Presque Isle.
Okay.
It was in July. So they got stuck in the sand. So the one guy went to get a tow truck to get him out. In the meantime, the park rangers came by and they seen him and they were talking to him. And the guy was decided to take a walk with the park rangers. So lo and behold, about 15 minutes later, they hear the horn blowing on a car. So they run back, and these 2 women are in, oh my God, they're in hysterics. They said there was a monster there. It actually left scratch marks on the car. They described it as something being about 8 foot tall, black. It was walking around a car. And when they blew the horn, the thing took off running. Well, they heard a humming sound. Before that, that was a UFO coming down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next day, they talked to them, and here comes Project Blue Book.
Okay.
The great people of UFO investigators. Mm-hmm. And they investigated it. Well, they said that, yeah, it was a UFO that landed there. It was an unknown. But the tracks the state police took were bear tracks. And there's something totally different between a bear track and one of these things.
Yeah, a Bigfoot.
And they said there's never been a bear on Presque Isle that anybody knows of.
So the tracks that they took, did anybody see those, or did they just say they were bear tracks?
They had them in Project Blue Book.
Oh, okay.
But they don't look like bear tracks.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. But, again, when the military says they're bear tracks, they're bear tracks.
During your presentation yesterday, you had a picture up of all the things that the government called a weather balloon.
Right.
And then the funniest part was the thing that actually looked like a weather balloon. It said a space gas or what have you.
Swamp gas.
Swamp gas. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's funny. But yeah, so they just call it what they want to call it and move on.
Yeah, move on. I mean, see, I think the government knows there's Bigfoot. And I think the government really, I hate to say it, I think they're killing them.
Really?
Yeah, but we'll get into that too.
Okay.
Okay, another thing is, I don't know if you heard about the case in Pennsylvania that Stan Gordon investigated.
I have not heard of the Stan Gordon one.
Okay. So, anyhow, back in 60, these were all in the 60s or early 70s. Two guys are in a truck and they're riding down the road. Now, Stan don't really tell us where this is at because he likes to keep secrets from everybody because somebody might go down there and talk to a person and find out something didn't happen the way he said it did. So, anyhow, the 2 guys are riding down the road and they see something red in the sky come down and land. Well, the driver, that was his farm. He lived on it and it was a farm area.
Okay.
So back then you could carry rifles in your truck. Homeland Security and them wouldn't come after you.
Yeah, I remember my uncles all had gun racks in their truck.
Yeah, until they got Homeland Security now. Then now you're not allowed to even pretend to have one. But so he goes down there and there's a red UFO sitting there. And he's looking at it, circular type, and turns and looks at the fence where the fence is coming up from the woods. He sees 2 Bigfoot walking along the fence line. So he fires a couple caps over their head, and it didn't stop them.
Didn't phase them.
Boom, boom, right into Bigfoot. Bigfoot went, threw his arms up in the air. And when he threw his arms up in the air, the UFO vanished.
Huh.
And he more or less sat here and just turned around and walked away like nothing even happened.
Oh, wow.
And just vanished.
See, that's even more terrifying to me.
Well, but then what happens, they called the state police. So the state police went down there, Stan was down there. There was a lot of psychiatrists even involved in this case later. And the state cop said at nighttime you could actually read a newspaper where the UFO was allegedly. It was that lit from whatever was there. Yeah. And the kid that actually seen it, started crawling around and acting like craziness and growling and everything.
Talked in tongues.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's another one where the Bigfoot was tied up with the UFO.
Now, do we have any type of explanation on like what made the boy talk in tongues or anything like that?
They don't know.
No. Okay.
He had psychological problems after that for a good while.
Yeah. That's why I said the psychiatrist involved in it.
Huh. I mean, that could break your brain. I could see it happening. what would scare me is if I shot a Bigfoot in the chest and it just threw me the finger and walked away.
Well, they've had numerous cases like that.
Oh yeah?
Oh, my God, yeah. I don't have none here. But, I mean, I got cases other places where they actually shot it with a shotgun, and Bigfoot just looked at him and said, "Hey, go to hell," turned around and walks away like nothing ever happened.
Man, that's when I'm going to start crying.
Why?
If I ever shoot somebody and it doesn't affect them and they just get pissed off, I'm like, all right.
I'm going to run.
Yeah.
The hell with crying, man. That crying ain't going to do you no good, man.
I figure if they can take a bullet, they can outrun me too.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's incredible, though.
But that happens many times. But now, I think today with what they have in that, I think, like I say, they're interdimensional. But if you can kill them, say shoot them before they can go back, then it's, you. But again, there was a show on, we're talking about a guy was military. And their job was to go out and catch a Bigfoot or kill a Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. And they shot a juvenile.
A juvenile Bigfoot?
Yeah, it's a little one. And I guess they killed it. And the mother Bigfoot was screaming and yelling, trying to protect it. Mm-hmm. And they put 100 bullets in her and killed her, too.
Whew.
I mean, so that's the kind of government we have.
That's ridiculous.
Well, but that's, again, authority. I mean,
yeah.
They want authority.
Now, with them coming from another dimension, do we know anything about... or any hypothesis about, like, what they come from? No. I wonder
They say it's very possibly we're a prison planet, that we actually brought them down here to work thousands and thousands of years ago.
Oh, okay.
And they're still working for us. For them.
Just in small spurts, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
And like I say, if you look at it, they come out and they just vanish right in front of you. I mean, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Now, in this book here I got, it has books to deal with Bigfoot back in the 60s. And all of these books say Bigfoot is an alien.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not a new theory. This has been around a while.
Yeah, it's been around for a long. But for those that believe it, Yeah, Silent Invasion by Stan Gordon.
Okay.
Then you got On the Track of Unknown Animals. That was Holman. Okay. And then you got Creatures of the Outer Edge, Janet and Colin Board. And that's a pretty good book here. It got a lot of stuff about Bigfoot being interdimensional.
Okay.
Then you got Bigfoot. That was by them too. Ed and Lorraine Warren, you heard of them?
Yes, I know who they are.
Ed and Lorraine Warren actually investigated a Bigfoot.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
Yeah.
Well, she did. He didn't.
Yeah, well, she did. Well,
did she come up with anything? Any type of conclusion?
She actually had a mind speak conversation with it.
Huh.
So.
Any was it? I know you guys don't have that, but I just latched on to that. Positive, negative conversation. Anything?
I think it would be more neutral. It was just like an exchange of information.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't remember the whole story, but her husband didn't want her to have a connection with it.
Huh. I'm going to have to look more into that because that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then you got Colin and Colin Board again, Alien Animals.
Okay.
All right. Then you got the Bigfoot Casebook. And then you got Paul Johnson's the Elusive Pennsylvania Bigfoot, where he says it's quantum.
Okay.
You know Paul. Brian
He's
probably
local.
talked about
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah, he's mentioned him.
Yeah. So what his theory is, most of the times when we go out researching Bigfoot, we don't hunt Bigfoot, we research Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. You'll find a track here, one track. Where in the hell's the other tracks at?
Yeah.
With quantum theory, when he puts his foot down there, he's actually a mile away here.
Okay.
With quantum theory. So that's why that happens. He's actually, moving along when he's doing that. And then you have Forbidden Bigfoot by Lisa Schill. So that's, she's pretty good.
Okay.
And
Check those books out, guys, if you want to learn more.
Okay. Then you get a Bigfoot-like space alien lands his flying saucer on an isolated mountain. There was a newspaper article where the kid said he's seen that. Okay, and it says here, Bigfoot cannot be killed. Dozen reports suggest that perhaps Bigfoot cannot be killed or at least brought down by initial shots fired. Another interesting case of Stan Gordon. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Amen. I shouldn't do that. Stand woman up in Ohio Powell. What was happening up there? There was a bunch of wild dogs up there, and they was coming on her porch. So she put a bunch of tin cans out, and when they come up, she's gonna come out and shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
So cans, she hears them, and she comes out on the porch. And I know she had a 12-gauge shotgun. It wasn't no damn dogs. It was Bigfoot standing there.
Mm.
She shot it, and she says it just vanished into a white puff of smoke.
Oh, wow.
So, right. And then there's, I don't know how many other reports out there. If you really, look into Bigfoot being shot by somebody, and they got all kind of reports on that.
So he's very elusive.
Yeah.
And then, see, that's crazy. Even if you shoot it, you're still not going to necessarily find what you're looking for.
No. And a lot of people, they take a .22 out in the woods.
Mm-hmm. What's that going to do against Bigfoot?
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's like a bee sting.
What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Bigfoot seems, this is interesting too. Bigfoot seems to take particular interest in women, especially when they're menstruating. In July 1974, in bypassed houses where only men resided, and shows particular interest to children and babies. Bigfoot's main attraction seems to be trailer homes, especially those made of aluminum, electric meters on houses, chemical and spill fuels, trailer homes, and often fuel storage tanks. Back in the 70s and 80s, that's where you see most of your Bigfoot in trailer parks. For some unknown reason. They used to, we got a case right now where a lady says the bathroom was like 8 feet above the ground.
Okay.
She was taking a bath. She got out of the tub, and she's standing there looking, and she looks she sees two big eyes looking at her, 8 feet up.
Wow.
And she starts screaming at that, yelling, and then comes back, and he ain't there. But anyhow.
Bigfoot's a peeper.
Huh?
Bigfoot's a peeper.
Yes, he is. But he likes women and kids.
Okay.
To our knowledge. I mean, I don't know if I just sent for a book where they said about Bigfoot killing people. So I didn't read it yet. I never got it.
I'm sure if they wanted to, they could rip a person apart limb from limb.
Well, we've had cases now where they reported a Bigfoot and then we found a deer ripped in half. I mean, half here and half here.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know what could rip a deer in half.
Yeah.
And then you got, like the trees, they twist them.
Huh.
You can't do that. And they actually twist them and break them, like, say, something this round.
Oh, wow.
3 or 4 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So, okay, so also Bigfoot phenomena, he like microwave towers, they can find them there, high-tension power lines, nuclear power installations, hydroelectric dams, bodies of water, missile silos, railroad tracks, crossroads, mobile homes, and anything to do with electric-magnetic energy.
It sounds like, and maybe this is just me, but it sounds like those places are all places where he would be able to find people that are very isolated.
Not only that, if he is interdimensional, he's getting charged.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
He can get charged.
It's an energy source for him.
Okay.
And a lot of times when you see these things, there's actually a storm.
Okay. Like so lightning storm?
Yeah. And you can see, I mean, a lot of this, like I say, is we talked to a guy, me and Brian out in Ohio, to see, was a woman and a guy too, guy's different story. She seen a dog man. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know the dog man?
Yeah.
Okay. Going to a power station. It was coming across the road. And she said it was actually morphing as it was coming across the road. You could see its arms was turning back to human.
Oh.
To human shape.
Okay, so the shapeshifter.
Shapeshifter, yeah.
Okay.
And I believe that Bigfoot isn't Bigfoot. That's my belief now. People say I'm crazy. I believe that Bigfoot is actually something else. He shapeshifts into Bigfoot because Bigfoot is recognized and don't scare people as much as, say, as a reptilian. Or, somebody from a spaceship, say a praying mantis, that insectoid.
Okay.
What would you do if you see an 8-foot praying mantis walking down the street?
You're going to try and get the hell out of there.
Right. But if you see the Bigfoot, you'll say, oh, my God, there's a Bigfoot.
You're going to see a hole in the wall the size of my little fat ass. Boom!
Only in America.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I really believe. I believe the Bigfoot really isn't Bigfoot.
It's another form.
Yeah, he just takes that because he knows he can do that for him, go in the woods and do whatever he wants to do, and nobody's going to really bother him.
And you know what? It's close enough to be confused for a bear or a monkey or anything,
Right,
certain things like that. That makes sense. Would people think you're crazy for that one, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I think people are married to ideas when they don't have proof of anything sometimes.
Well, the whole thing is I think you got to look out of the box.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had a guy tell me the other day, he said, well, allegedly he killed somebody. He did 17 years in prison. And they said, well, he's a damn murderer. I said, really? Well, he was found guilty. I said, well, you know, when I worked in prison, I know 2 people that sat on an electric chair that were innocent.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, and you know, the one guy, I knew him personally, I mean, because I used to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And so here you got 2 people that are innocent, almost got killed. And, you know, and so who's to say this guy really did it?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Only people knows him and the dead person.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know. Okay, so we get into that. Now, the Center for Freudian Zoology, you ever hear of them?
Freudian zoology?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay. This is a guy named Downs out in England, and he'd been running this now in the United Kingdom for many years. And he came up with this theory, okay? He got a tier system, okay? The initial 2 tiers are rather straightforward, cryptids and pseudo-cryptids.
Mm-hmm.
The first he sees is hidden or unknown animals. The second are said to be not strictly part of cryptozoology and to be animals that are out of place.
Okay.
The third, a new word, zooform. The third cryptozoological category consists of zooform phenomena. These are not animals, but entities or apparitions which adopt to seem to have animal form.
Okay, so like Dogman or Bigfoot and stuff like that.
In many ways, these elusive and contentious entities have plagued cryptozoology since its inception and tend to be dismissed by mainstream science as totally unworthy of consideration. Zooform phenomena seem to have a strange blend of paranormal manifestation and mythology. All right? Okay, then you have a guy by the name of Don Worley.
Okay.
If you had a lot of UFO people in here, Don done a lot of abduction research.
Okay.
And he was a consultant for Flying Saucer Review out of England, one of the most prestigious books back in the 80s and 70s.
Okay.
But he says here, we may call it Bigfoot, but I call it para-apes. In my analysis and paper delivered at the Dr. Heinlein 1976 International Conference, I investigated 234 reports, 602 witnesses, and 266 para-apes. I found that there is a valid indication that we are not dealing with a flesh and blood animal.
Okay, so he supports the theory.
The interdimensional.
Okay.
Now, there's a new thing coming in the United States. It's called paracryptozoology.
Okay.
Okay, this started here not too long ago. But 4 main factors why they started. The amount of bizarre reports over the years that have either been by cryptozoologists, which added up over time to explain properly. The second is the lack of evidence in the field of cryptozoology concerning some of the species identified with paracryptozoology, especially considers advances in technology. The third is the awakening, which is an undisputed fact according to our own personal research. More and more people are waking up to the possibilities which may lie outside the box of conventional knowledge and thinking. See, a lot of people don't want to do that because they're afraid to go out of the box.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we're all about here.
And that's why they say I'm crazy. Because I'm saying Bigfoot, I believe, is something else. And he just, going into Bigfoot so he can get around. And finally, the fourth is a field where these ideas can be shared without constant ridicule from those in cryptozoology who don't even acknowledge that the paranormal events even exist. So they say right here, now that we have defined what it is, let's look at the more prominent theories that are found within the paracryptozoology. Okay, number one, cloaking and invisibility. All right, so now you got Bigfoot. A lot of people say they're walking, and there was a tree stump there. And something happens, they try and look, there's no more tree stump. There's something standing there 8 foot tall. Okay? They say that Bigfoot can actually make you see him. If he don't want you to see him, you're not going to see him. He can actually make you by mind control.
So like the cloaking and all that.
Well, that's cloaking. It's cloaking and invisibility. That's what they call that. Okay, then portals. Okay, now they got these little hole things. They say Bigfoot didn't put in it, but anyhow, they say that's a portal. All right. So now let's look at the Bigfoot family eating. Okay, so you got Daddy Bigfoot. He weighs 850 pounds. Let's say 900.
Okay.
Mama Bigfoot depends on where she's from. If she's from West Virginia, she probably weighs about 1,200. Or let's make it 1,100, so it's an even ton.
We love you, West Virginia.
Okay. Then you normally have a few juveniles, so they weigh about 500 apiece. So we're looking at 3,000 pounds that's got to be fed.
Yeah.
How long would it take them to eat a forest?
Okay.
Where do they get their food at? There's no way they can be fed.
Yeah, they would have to eat a lot.
A lot.
A significant amount.
Truckfuls.
Yeah.
I mean, dump trucks coming in. You know. So is it possible that they actually get into a portal, go back to where they're from,
hit the cafeteria?
Yeah. Hey, I was just over there in goddamn Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Them crazy people down there don't believe in me.
Yeah.
Some of them do. But, and come back again.
Okay.
You know?
No one wants to explore Earth on an empty stomach.
No.
Not even Bigfoot.
Okay, so ghost. Is it possible that Bigfoot is actually a ghost? Nick Redfern had a case out in one of the parks out in national parks out in California where a lady was walking her dog, and the dog stopped dead. And she's looking at the dog like, what the hell's wrong with you? And the dog ain't moving, man. I mean, he's staring. So she looks over, and she says she's seen a saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, wow.
She knew it because it had the two teeth coming down. And she said, oh, shit, this is the end.
Yeah.
And she looked again, and it didn't have no paws. And she's looking at it, and as she's looking at it, then it didn't have no legs. And it came up until it totally vanished.
Oh.
So are we actually looking at ghost animals from the past?
Okay.
Is Bigfoot one of them?
Or is it a time slip?
Yeah. You know, so this is part of that, all right? Then, are they demonic? Okay, you know, a lot of people say Bigfoot's demonic because he smells like sulfur.
Okay.
Or eggs.
Red eyes.
Yeah, you know, and he got red eyes that stare at you.
Okay.
So they're saying he's demonic. Then a hole in the veil. You know, people are born with the veil. They're born with a veil over their head.
Okay.
You know, and they can see it.
They're born with skin over their
they
head.
call it a veil.
Okay.
They can see into the future in that.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Okay, and then the mind speak, where Bigfoot can actually put stuff in your mind and talk to you, or lights in the sky. A lot of times now, when they see Bigfoot right before they see him, they're seeing orbs flying around.
Okay.
And then Bigfoot comes into existence.
You know, it seems like orbs are everything now. Orbs are just all around. They seem like the new popular thing. Everyone I know has got orb pictures.
Well, but you know, the majority of them are dirt.
A lot of them are camera anomalies that people don't want to acknowledge.
I talked to a guy the other day. He does our pictures for MUFON. I didn't talk to him for like 3 or 4 years, and I called him up and said, dude, I got about 10 cases with orbs. And he says, what do you want me to do with them? That's why I want you to look at them and tell me what the hell you think.
Yeah.
So he said, okay. So we start talking. I got a case in West Virginia. This is with orbs real quick. The guy said he came down the mountain, looked at the rearview mirror, and there was an orb following him. He says, really wasn't that big. He said, maybe the size of a basketball. It was following his car. He says he got scared and took his gun out, because all West Virginians carry guns.
We've been rough on West Virginia today.
and when he took his gun out, he said he got some kind of pain in his head he couldn't stand. It's like that orb was telling him to put that gun back.
Okay.
When he put the gun back, his pain went away. And the orb went away. He says it followed him for about 5 miles. I'm doing the case on that right now.
Just watching him.
Right.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then you got people with orbs. Like we had a case where I used to do ghost hunting. I never really done it that long. I'm not really a ghost hunter.
Okay.
They're dead. They can stay where the hell I'm at, and I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Okay.
I don't need them come visiting me.
That's fair enough.
You know, they did one time. They visited me, and I don't need them more there.
That's enough, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we had an African-American girl with us,
Okay.
a psychic. So we went to this graveyard down along the railroad, down along the bike path. As soon as we got there, she said, no. No what? She says, they don't like me. They said to get the hell out of here. And I'm going. So we said, okay. So we're walking up the bike path, and you know the bike path is like ashes.
Yeah.
It just rained before that. So there's not going to be no dirt coming up out of there. So about every 15 steps, we turn around and take a picture. I think there had to be 500 orbs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We got about 10 pictures of this. So we get to where the town was supposed to end. There's a little waterfall there. We cross over that and take a picture. There's nothing there.
Huh.
I mean, I'll never forget that.
So it's kind of like just get the hell out of here type thing.
Yeah. But orbs could be a lot of things. Another one we had, Sam Colestimo, who's an investigator with us, called me up one day and said, you ain't going to believe this. He said, you come down to my office. He owns a business. So he says, the other day, he said, my alarms all went off. The cops went there. Everything was locked up. Nothing broken into. So they went there the next day, him and one of the guys in there looking at the film because they got cameras in every room. In the one room, there was 200 orbs.
Okay.
That's the room where the alarm went off. So these orbs actually set the alarm system off.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So what they are, what they do, nobody really knows. Okay, now we'll get into this here. Down. Okay. Bigfoot has left tracks across open fields in the snow that stop and go nowhere. You're watching a football game. Start at the 10-yard line and the 10-yard line here. You got snow on the ground. Bigfoot starts here. Walks to this 10-yard line and then he
vanishes.
Gone. Where did he go? Where did he come from and where did he go? And this has happened numerous times. Okay? They've seen shape-shifting into other creatures. The Indians said they could become a wolf, become a tree, become whatever they wanted to become.
Oh, wow.
They're shot at point-blank range and disappear into a blinding flash. That's what Stan Gordon. They have been seen outside houses by people experiencing poltergeist activities within a house. A lot of poltergeist activities happen when Bigfoot's around, too, stuff flying off the shelves and that. They've been seen entering and exiting UFOs. Okay? They've been seen by UFOs by abductees. Did you ever hear of Daryl Sims?
No.
Daryl worked with... who was the guy you used to take?
Medical doctor. They did. They removed the little
The things that the alien put.
implants.
Oh, okay. The trackers? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they don't know for sure what all they do.
But he said that they had a mass abduction back in the 80s, and everybody on that ship that night that they regressed in that said that there was Bigfoots on that ship.
Wow.
So, they've seen them.
So Bigfoot could just be the ground workers for
Right.
UFOs even.
Right.
Okay.
Okay? They stand anywhere between 10 to 12 foot tall, a lot of them. That's a hell of,
That's
wow, man, what's up?
Yeah.
You want an apple? They've been seen materializing and dematerializing. We had a guy that gave a report. He said he was driving down a road, and he seen a Bigfoot standing out in the middle of the road, and just like the animal, just in the thin air.
Oh, wow.
Okay. They've been ripped with cost too. Okay. You remember Westinghouse when they was out in Monroeville?
Yes.
Okay, they had them two buildings back in the woods.
Yes.
Okay, I used to work out there in security, and part-time. And if you know the road comes in, it's about a half a mile to come in. It's all, So me and the guy working with me, we see one day something walking up the sidewalk, big, carrying a bag. Well, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a Saturday afternoon, so we figured somebody coming, one of the cleaners coming up. What was odd, a car came down, and this thing actually turned around so it couldn't see its face. And then as the car went by, it started walking again. So they got about maybe 50 yards from the office there, they had a place where you smoke. So this thing went over and sat down. We couldn't actually see the face or anything. And then all of a sudden, I went to the bathroom. As I'm coming out of the bathroom, he's yelling, Fred, come here. I said, what? He said, the damn thing's running. It ran and jumped over the hillside.
Oh.
And the hillside is the turnpike.
Yeah.
All right. But something was there waiting for it.
Ah.
We had it on film.
Okay.
Because the film, from the cameras up there.
Yeah.
He erased it.
Oh.
Because he said they would think that's all we're doing is trying to find Bigfoot and they'd fire us.
Oh, man.
Really. So I went over to the thing to look, and there was a couple of tracks over there, but, So I'm figuring, well, we're going to catch hell anyhow. So I told my boss, Dave, this is what, really. So you guys believe in Bigfoot? Yeah. He said, well, I want you to do something for me. I said, what? He says, from now on, the first half of your shift, I want you to go back out in the woods and see if you can find any tracks. So for like 3 weeks,
great.
I got to do that, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
man.
So, but this thing had clothes on.
Okay.
And again, we got to speak of Stan, because Stan done all the investigations in this area. Stan says that he has got numerous reports of Bigfoot wearing clothes.
Huh.
So,
That's interesting.
Okay. They've been covered in white, brown, gray, yellow, red, or black fur.
Okay.
We found down at Beaver Creek in Ohio.
Okay.
They've had 4 or 5 white reports down there, white Bigfoot down there.
Really? That's interesting.
Okay. They've been seen swimming across ponds and lakes and beneath clear, unbroken ice. Okay. They've been seen with pointed ears, fangs, and glowing red eyes. These are your demonic types.
Those are the ones that would terrify me.
Yeah. Well, me too. See you later.
Yeah.
Okay. They've been seen carrying a dead deer thrown over their shoulders. Just pick it up and,
Like a rag doll.
Yeah. They've been seen carrying clubs, large dogs. They've been seen running next to and keeping pace with cars driving down the road, 35 miles an hour.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, they can run 35 to 50 miles an hour.
That's incredible.
All right. They've been seen raising their arms and shutting car motors. We talked about that. Another interesting thing, they've been seen digging with their hands into the ground in old graveyards. Again, when we look at that, we find that 9 out of 10 graveyards, Native Americans are buried there. So there's some connection between Native Americans and Bigfoot.
Okay.
We went on a case, a little boy, and the Bigfoot fell out of a tree. It was a juvenile. And, I'm asking the lady, I said, anybody here got any Native American blood in them? She said, no, nobody. And then riding home, and she says, Fred.
She called you.
Yeah, she says, Fred, his dad is half Cherokee.
Okay.
So
another connection there.
Okay. They're invulnerable to bullets. They've been seen and heard screaming and growling like wild animals. Witnesses report able to see through them.
Oh, okay. So transparency.
Yeah. They can float instead of walk.
Huh.
Like we go down a bike path, and you can hear, then you stops. And it says they can actually just float.
So when they find out you were hearing them,
so you can't see them no more. They've been hit with buses and vehicles and get up and walk away. We had a case up in up by Ohio, Pennsylvania, where a bus hit a Bigfoot, tore the whole front end of the bus off.
Yeah.
And we tried to get there before but they already changed it. and they all denied it. And 3 of the people there said, yeah, it happened.
Okay.
So, but again, how can you run over Bigfoot with a bus and the damn thing get up and walk away and look at you like, oh.
That's some serious durability.
Yeah. Okay. Now, kids, they love kids.
Mm-hmm.
They will sit and watch kids play for hours and hours. They had a case on Mysteries and Monsters on TV of Salt Fork. Granny, Grandpa, Mom, and Dad, and 3 kids go to Salt Fork Park down in Ohio.
Okay.
One kid was a little girl. I think she was 8 or 9. There was a boy, probably between 5 and 7, a little girl, 4. So they go down over the hill to play. All right. So about 5 minutes later, the kids come running up the hill. Oh, my God, there's a monster down there. There's a monster down there. And they run down there. And, well, they're up there talking for about 5 minutes. They say, oh, my God, little Susie's still down there.
Yeah.
They forgot all about her. They go down there. She's sitting on a tree stump.
Huh.
And they says, are you okay, honey? She goes, I asked him to play with me, but he wouldn't.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they don't mess with kids,
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Occasionally, they smell like sulfur or rotten eggs. They're in suburban areas. Now, they had a case in Uniontown. You've been down to Uniontown. You know where Cornersville Street is and the school there?
Not specifically.
Okay. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Bigfoot takes off across the road, actually jumps over top of a car, puts his hand on a car and jumps.
Oh, wow.
And damaged the car.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And, again, that was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Nobody knew where it was. State cops come. And there's allegedly a couple cases where allegedly state cops seen Bigfoot and they told their commander they seen it, and they no longer work for the state police.
Yeah, I could see people being silenced.
But I'm telling them now, I'm trying to get 9/11, if they get a call in Fayette County about a Bigfoot or UFO, to call us. We will give them a report, whoever's on a 9/11.
Yeah.
And we will be within 24 hours. We will do go out and talk to the party, but I don't think they're going to do it. Okay, and descriptions of Bigfoot suggest a non-physical entity. So,
well, thank you for coming on, Fred. I think that was very informative, very fascinating.
And this is for you.
Thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate this. I got the UFO Bigfoot connection now.
And there's also Bigfoot in Pennsylvania in there.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, plug time. Where can people find you? Tell us about your groups and whatnot.
Okay. I'm with Pennsylvania, Fayette County, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Research Project.
Okay.
Okay, we're out of Uniontown.
Okay.
We have a meeting once a month. It's the 3rd Tuesday of the month. We're at a place called Casey's now, down on South Mount Vernon Avenue. That's where we have our meeting. If they want to get a hold of me, they can call me at 304-564-7165. Or they can reach me at paranormal1949@AOL.com, or what's your number?
Bigfoot15425@gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay. We've been in business now for about maybe 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
And we just got, over the last 2 weeks, we actually got 4 reports.
Okay, so guys, if you got a Bigfoot case, you happen to see something or suspect something, reach out to them.
We'll come there. I mean, we ain't going to bullshit you. We don't want to put it. We got people out there just talking, want to put it on their monthly journal, so to speak, We go out and talk to you.
Okay.
Like I met this guy yesterday from Smithfield. He said he's seen a Bigfoot. He filled out a report. He said, well, I guess that's it. I said, no, I will be out to talk to you because I want to know what else you've seen and what you did and this and that. So I got to set something up with him. Then we talked to a guy the other day that emailed her. He was a hunter. She talked to him for an hour and a half, and I talked to him for about an hour.
Okay.
And, he says, really, you guys are really into this. Yeah, we are. Okay, then we talked to another lady. The grandmother seen the Bigfoot through the window. I talked to her for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another case where the lady, the little boy, I got to talk to her again. I talked to her, and then, so we got to see her again.
Oh, wow.
But, again, I mean, we're out there. We're out to help you. We ain't out to put it to you or anything.
Right on. They're out to help, guys.
We will not use your name unless you give us permission.
Okay.
And I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, you know, and that's about it.
Well, again,
Mention David Pilates.
Huh?
Mention Pilates. David Pilates. Just mentioning.
Oh, Dave Pilates. You ever hear of Dave?
I have not heard of Dave.
You ever hear of his book, Missing 411?
No.
Where they're missing out of, okay. You go to a national park or something and the little boy ends up missing or somebody ends up missing. Well, you got thousands of them.
Yeah.
And nobody knows where they go.
Okay.
And Pilates
Parks don't want to talk about it.
and Pilates is the guy that actually investigates that.
Okay, so check him out, guys. Shout out to Jeff Fieldhouse. I'm rocking his new T-shirt design. On the back, it's got his logo, and it says, "Your future self will thank you." So check out the Babyface Assassin podcast. As of right now, I'm still going to be performing on the 28th at Brandy's Basement up in Irwin. It's a jazz comedy show. Like I said, as of right now, it's still a go. Remember, we are having the Black Friday sale on the Teespring site. Enter I Am Podcast at checkout to receive 20% off any purchase. And that's it for me. My guest next week is Courtney Tackett. I believe I'm saying that right. And she is a Reiki practitioner, among other things. Again, thank you for coming in, Fred. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out, and have a good evening.
And a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.